Howdy. Welcome to the 2023 College of Arts and Sciences State of the College Address. Thank you all for being here, weathering the elements to come out and join us, and welcome to all of you that are listening in through Zoom. My name is Mark Zoran. It's my privilege to serve as the Executive Associate Dean for the College of Arts and Sciences. And it's also my pleasure this morning, as we get started, to introduce you to one of our senior English majors, also pursuing a minor in history, Ms. Lilia Elizondo. Lilia has served as the Vice President of the College Student Council in the Legacy Liberal Arts and is the co-founder of the new Council of Arts and Sciences and Humanities. After graduating, Lilia plans a career in law and will be applying soon for an international diplomacy internship in Washington, D.C. We've asked Lilia to join us today to provide us with a student's perspective on the new College of Arts and Sciences. So Lilia, please come forward and please join me in welcoming Lilia.
Howdy, everyone. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here, especially because it is raining and I know some of our feet must be very soaked right now. So I'm very thankful that everyone's here despite that. And I would just like to say something first. Change is scary, change is new, and change is necessary. When I first heard the words College of Arts and Sciences, I immediately knew that there was something new, and of course, there was a change. I'll admit it had me worried. As an English major in the Legacy College of Liberal Arts, I was concerned that liberal arts majors might just get swept under the rug in favor of STEM students. I was worried that the liberal arts career fairs, festivals, would be overshadowed in favor of the sciences. And I was worried that there would be fewer educational opportunities that would interest me, such as minors and programs. I was also worried, of course, that my organizations that I played a pretty big role in would just disappear as soon as the new college was formed. I think there's often an unfair stigma that liberal arts just consistently gets ignored. And, however, thankfully, that is not the case. And as I previously said, change is necessary, and what is necessary can be good. And after a year of being in this new college, I can thankfully say that my fears were very wrong. Instead of this merger acting as a divide with students with different interests, it ultimately helped create a needed bridge between the sciences and the arts. And of course, the word merger kind of gives it away. I don't think that ever made it for a second, believe that it would just further divide. I've had the opportunity to observe this closeness firsthand by participating in the Council of Arts, Sciences, and Humanities, a new student organization that grew out of the former Liberal Arts Student Council. Our members include students from the Legacy College of Liberal Arts and the new College of Sciences. The new relationships we have made in this new organization have not just been fulfilling on a personal level, but they have also been enlightening on an academic level as well. Prior to the merger, most of my interactions with the students in the college were with the students of the College of Liberal Arts. In the past year, I have become friends with those who are majoring in math, biology, geography, and so many other diverse majors. Beyond just realizing that I could get along with someone who prefers learning about the cell over reading about fantasy, I learned that they have just as much to learn from us as we do from them. I realized that both people in the sciences and the arts understood that in order to be our best selves, we'd have to learn from one another. As students in Texas A&M, we have similar interests and future goals. We all seek to impact the future for the better through developing skills and experiences that will serve others. Personally, as someone who wants to work in the field of law, I want to make sure that I'm able to connect to people of all backgrounds and to be able to understand cases relating to more than just one particular area. I don't think consistently just reading Lord of the Rings will ever help me figure out about environmental law as much as I love the books. I know most students too want to show the full extent of their full capabilities in their respective fields as well. Likewise, I think we should probably practice speaking to groups of people if we ever want to do some STEM fields as well. In the Council of Arts, Sciences, and Humanities, I've met English majors that want to pursue a master's degree in geosciences because they want to write about rocks. Sociology majors who want to go to the medical field, so they're looking into biology minors. I've met biology majors that want to get English minors because they want to help write and develop their research. You know, in my classes themselves, I've met math majors who have memorized entire Platonic dialogues. They've really put me to shame. They've also read more Lord of the Rings, Jane Austen, and other authors that I have. And I've also seen psychology majors tutor math students and engineering students. I once had to explain photosynthesis to a biology major, and it was a very uncanny experience, but you know, it happened. And at first I was surprised by this, but I thought about it and I realized I really shouldn't, because these cross-disciplinary interests just demonstrate how much people have to offer, which is really what this new merger is all about. I'm scheduled to graduate this May, and as I think about my future, I'm exploring the idea of specializing in environmental law. I recently learned that there are plans to develop a new environmental studies program in the college that combines coursework in the humanities with coursework in the environmental sciences. And this is really just an amazing example of what the new college has to offer to students like me. I myself know people who refuse to take classes outside of their subjects or things that they're good at. And while I can see why taking these classes is very comfortable, how can you ever know that there's more to love in education if you never take the time to actually explore different areas of studies? More knowledge is never extraneous or unnecessary. Although English classes are still my favorite, I learned that I love calculus through physics classes, and through talking to math majors, I've discovered an obsession with learning about the Riemann hypothesis. I saw like an hour video about it yesterday, and I learned that I was much more capable than I thought I was. I think it's important to be brave and to venture into topics that I never thought would interest me, because chances are they might, and chances are people will surprise themselves. With the short time I've had with my college, I've gained a new perspective and new friends who have shown me more about having range. Because fundamentally, as I said, that's what this transition is all about. From a student perspective, the new college provides us with an opportunity to diversify our education and personal experiences. Professions and institutions do not need an echo chamber of people who only specialize in one thing. A jack of all trades is in high demand nowadays, and the educational resources we have access to now are the key to this type of success. In short, I think the College of Art and Sciences represents a big change for A&M, and I think change is both necessary and good. Thank you.
Thank you, Lilia. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. José Luis Bermúdez, Professor of Philosophy and Interim Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, to address us on the state of the college. Dr. Bermúdez.
Just take a quick photograph, because if it's not on Facebook, it didn't happen. Well, howdy. So thank you all again for coming today. It's wonderful to see so many people here, with others connecting remotely, faculty, staff, and former students. But I really want to start by thanking you for your patience and your hard work since President Banks announced the creation of the new College of Arts and Sciences. I know it's been a difficult journey, and this isn't surprising. There have been few larger undertakings in the history of higher education in this country. 3 proudly independent colleges in what is now the largest public university in the country have come together to form a single College of Arts and Sciences, a college without any divisions, and a college that is larger than most American universities. So a few numbers will help communicate the scale of the undertaking. We have 19,073 students, Lilia and her 19,072 colleagues, who are taught by 868 faculty. The college is supported by over 700 staff, of whom 200 support the research enterprises. Our annual expenditures are $300 million, of which over a third are research expenditures. We've got an endowment of $190 million, and our physical footprint is over 2 million square feet. The scale is incredible. And so I understand why many of you feel disoriented by the speed and the scope of the changes that we've gone through. I sympathize, and I appreciate the extraordinary commitment and dedication that has gone into creating arts and sciences. Many people have put long hours in trying circumstances. And I must admit that on more than one occasion, I wondered whether it was actually going to be possible to make it work. But each time I was encouraged by the inspiring efforts of others. So we've already achieved an incredible amount in the last few months. We have, for example, created a new department of global languages and cultures, drafted guidelines and processes for almost every aspect of the academic enterprise, incorporated a biomedical sciences undergraduate major with 2,700 students, absorbed and reconfigured the university studies degree, created an integrated college-wide advising team with 65 staff advisors, in addition to welcoming the Office of Pre-Professional Advising and Transition Academic Programs. So we've done all this and more while maintaining our massive efforts in teaching, research, and service, and while working through some of the challenges of centralization. And on that topic, I'm just going to go off script because I have some late breaking news after a meeting this morning with President Banks and her cabinet, where we talked about some of the organizational challenges that everyone in this room has been affected by in one way or other. So we talked about marketing communications, finance, human resources, alumni relations, and lab safety operations and inventory. So I just want to briefly highlight the outcomes of those discussions this morning. So in marketing and communication, the scale of our enterprise requires a suitably scaled up communication effort. So we will be appointing an assistant vice president of marketing and communications for this college and increasing the communication staff by more than 50% to allow to have the team that will be able to tell the story of everything that is going on in our students and our faculty. In finance, Mr. Crawford will be adding and repositioning positions to ensure that there's consistent support across the academic enterprise and that all of our departments are supported to an equal standard. There's been a lot of concerns in the realm of human resources that people after the centralization are doing HR work that they were not doing before. That will stop. And that is the clear commitment of Vice President Sladen. He will repurpose people and add people to make sure that all HR duties are done by centralized HR personnel, not by our staff, our academics, and our department heads. Development is incredibly important to us, and I'll talk a little bit about it in the future. We have been understaffed on development officers. We will be adding at least 3 more before the end of the summer, and we will be creating an Office of Alumni Relations to help us reach out to our former students and to do a lot of the work that is part of the development enterprise, but that shouldn't be done by development officers who need to be building relations and building community. And then finally, as many of you know, after the centralization of facilities, there was a gap of what we now, for an expression that none of us ever heard before, but now we all know very well, orphan duties, connected in particular with lab safety, lab operations. And we have hired a director of lab safety and operations to coordinate our efforts in that area. And we will be coordinating existing staff, but also adding at least 3 new people to make sure that we've got a suitably safe, compliant, and supportive environment for our instructional and research laboratories. So that's the late breaking news as of 10 o'clock this morning. So obviously there's some fine tuning left to be done, and that's the first step in that direction. But what I want to focus on today are the opportunities. And Chancellor Sharp and President Banks have spoken of a new golden age for Texas A&M. And I have to agree. In 10 years' time, Texas A&M will be recognized as the preeminent university in Texas and a worthy equal to the very best universities in the nation and the world. The College of Arts and Sciences was created to lead the charge to take us there. So I want to take a few minutes to talk about why the College of Arts and Sciences is so important in this university's continued rise. It's because arts and sciences is the heart of the university. We touch every student, of course, through the core curriculum. In fall 2022, we taught an incredible 311,000 semester credit hours, just over a third of the total number taught at Texas A&M. And we provide the foundation for every degree program, the knowledge and the skills that allow all of our graduates at this university to be numerate, scientifically aware, and able to navigate the traditions, innovations, cultural differences, and shared histories that make up the fabric of human society. This is a real source of strength and should be a source of pride for all of us. At the same time, arts and sciences is the home of pure discovery and basic knowledge creation. In the lab, out on the research ship, in the library, at the dig, in the observatory, and on the field site, our faculty, research staff, graduate students, and dedicated undergraduate students are shaping and rethinking our understanding of the natural and social worlds. The whole research enterprise at Texas A&M University rests upon the foundation that we provide here in arts and sciences. And I also want to emphasize that arts and sciences is a standard bearer for the values of unfettered inquiry and courageous investigation that have defined universities since medieval times. Many in our community research and teach controversial topics that may be challenging or fly in the face of some forms of political orthodoxy and the priorities of powerful interest groups. It is our responsibility as the provider of these foundations to promote and protect the free exchange and expression of ideas, and to investigate complex issues of race, class, identity, and health. The College of Arts and Sciences is and must continue to be a touchstone for the responsible exercise of academic freedom. So looking ahead 10 years, what could the College of Arts and Sciences look like? I want to sketch a general picture and then talk in more detail about the roads that will take us there. So I see a College of Arts and Sciences that is a destination for world-leading researchers and teachers, for prospective undergraduate and graduate students who come here to work at the cutting edge of their fields in state-of-the-art facilities, and for staff who will be able to develop their careers in a fulfilling, respectful, and supportive environment. I see a College of Arts and Sciences that is setting the agenda in research, scholarship, and the curriculum, where we are innovating both within our academic disciplines and across them. And a College of Arts and Sciences that is a powerful voice on the national and international stage, taking the lead on tackling the great challenges that will define our collective future. Challenges of energy transition, climate resilience, political dysfunction, health disparities, and social justice. And I also see a College of Arts and Sciences that is a hub for collaboration within Texas A&M, of course, but also as an equal partner with the top universities in the nation and the world, with the national labs in this country and with their equivalents overseas. And we can envision what this will look like when we get there. We'll see PhD students from arts and sciences in faculty positions at the world's top universities and research labs. We'll see arts and sciences as the home for large-scale federally funded centers and institutes that set the national and international research agenda. We'll see our graduates rising to leadership positions in state and national government, in industry, in NGOs, and as entrepreneurs. We'll see our faculty and graduates well represented on the panels and commissions that drive policy change, testifying to Congress, and sought after as media experts. And what has become clear to me more and more over the last year is that the foundation has already been laid for this ambitious future. There is so much strength and potential across arts and sciences. We're already doing many of the things that will take us to where we want to go. However, to progress even further, our efforts need more coordination, more strategic direction, and most importantly, more resources. And I want to use the rest of the time available to highlight the exciting things that are already going on and talk about some of the strategic initiatives and the opportunities that will take us from where we are to where we want to be. And then I'll close up with talking a little bit about the resource piece. And I want to organize these remarks around the basic themes articulated by President Banks in her State of the University address: transformational education, connectivity to state, nation, and world, and translational research. Dr. Banks's fourth theme, the Aggie Way, runs through everything that we do and aspire to do. So on transformational education, higher education has the power to change lives, families, and communities. And it's worth taking a moment to reflect on the extraordinary opportunity that we have here in arts and sciences because of our scale and our place at the heart of the largest public university in the country. Of our 16,844 undergraduate students, around 25% are the first in their family to attend college. That is 4,000 families who are being impacted by the education we provide. And many of those faculties are low income. We have around 1,000 students who are Regent scholars with a family income of less than $40,000 a year. Think of the multiplier effect as the power of education spreads through families and communities. We have a great opportunity, but also a great responsibility. We're not only a land, sea, and space grant school, but also a federally designated Hispanic serving institution with over 4,000 Hispanic students in arts and sciences alone. We must make sure that all of our students are successful and that we are fully accessible and welcoming to all qualified students, irrespective of background, race, ethnicity, or identity. This fall, thanks to the hard work of many faculty and staff across the college, we'll be rolling out the Arts and Sciences First to Finish program, complementing our Regent Scholars program. This new program will provide a 4-year experience for all 4,000 first-generation students in arts and sciences, who will be supported by program managers and program coordinators, as well as peer mentors. In addition, as part of our ongoing commitment to the diversity, equity, and inclusion, we rolled out yesterday our Inclusive Excellence Grant Program to support initiatives to enhance student success in our diverse and dynamic student body. The most recent group of students for which we have complete information is the cohort that arrived in 2018, the class of 2022, including both first-time in college and transfer students. Within that group, our 4-year graduation rate was 72.8%, which, by the way, was pretty much the 6-year graduation rate when I came to Texas A&M in 2010. And this is actually pretty good. It's nearly 8 points above the university number. But of course, there's room for improvement. I think that our integrated advising team, together with TAP and our other student success professionals, will make a big difference. We also need to be very attentive to bottleneck courses. A lot of work has gone into addressing bottlenecks in biomedical sciences, particularly in physiology and anatomy classes, thanks to the hard work of dedicated instructors and graduate students in the Department of Biology. But we have other bottlenecks, and I am grateful to President Sams and to Provost Sams and President Banks, who've allocated base funding in the amount of $3 million to help us address those challenges, as well as to cope with anticipated enrollment growth over the next 2 academic years. Time to degree is affected by affordability. The more college costs, the more time students with limited means have to spend working. Arts and Sciences is taking the lead on lowering costs for students through open educational resources. 68% of all the courses at Texas A&M that use OER are in arts and sciences. And we estimate that our students have saved nearly $2 million in the 8 months since we've been a single college, with the departments of English and biology taking the lead. On the theme of affordability, this is where our friends and supporters can help us achieve truly transformational impacts for arts and sciences and for Texas A&M. We need more studentship and scholarship support to ensure that nobody is held back by financial need. And we must ensure that our students have access to those high impact experiences that can change lives, such as studying abroad and engaging in research. Transformational teaching is helped by transformational facilities. And extraordinary efforts have already been made in this direction with the newly opened chemistry labs in the 140,000 square foot instructional laboratory and innovative learning building. We probably have the most advanced and pedagogically sophisticated organic and inorganic chemistry labs in the country. Looking ahead, I and others are dreaming of a biological sciences teaching and research complex on West Campus, where we'll have state-of-the-art teaching and study spaces coexisting with laboratory space for our existing research enterprise. This will most likely be renovation of existing space, but you need only look at Peterson Hall or Zachary Hall to see what can be achieved with a well-designed and well-funded renovation project. So we're also innovating in the curriculum. Our planned new Department of Interdisciplinary Biomedical Sciences, DIBS, will be a focal point, alternative suggestions welcome, will be a focal point to engage faculty from other colleges and schools, including from the Health Science Center. Our new Department of Global Languages and Cultures is developing a global studies degree program, as well as a new Jewish studies minor, and taking the lead on an ambitious multi-million-dollar proposal for flagship programs in Russian and Chinese language instruction. The new Society Ethics and Law major, housed in philosophy, will give students interdisciplinary analytic and research skills. And as part of the Arts and Sciences Environment and Sustainability Initiative, our 2 degree programs focused on the environment will be re-envisioned by a broad coalition of faculty already working together. And we have plans for an undergraduate degree in bioinformatics, drawing on faculty from statistics and biology, and a master's degree in climate and risk to be housed in atmospheric sciences. So one way of supporting these initiatives, particularly in interdisciplinary degrees, is team talk courses. And we'll soon be rolling out a program to facilitate faculty collaborating across departments on interdisciplinary upper level courses. So let me talk a little bit about connectivity to the state, nation, and world, Dr. Banks's second big theme. Our college is deeply embedded in the local community. Our Brazos Valley Reads program is run by the English department with multiple local partners. Just last weekend, we hosted in the Mitchell Physics Building the latest iteration of the highly successful Physics and Engineering Festival, with over 5,500 participants. And for many years, the Chemistry Roadshow has been traveling to high schools and junior highs to entertain and educate at no cost to school or student. Our Geography department organizes the largest GIS day in the country. And students from our Atmospheric Sciences department provide weather forecasts for KAMU radio. But we also serve the state of Texas in multiple ways. For 40 years, the Public Policy Research Institute has worked to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of government programs in maternal and child health, senior wellness, criminal justice, veterans assistance, and more. Through the Texas Automated Buoy System, faculty and staff researchers in oceanography monitor the entire Texas coast and Galveston Bay for oil spills and other threats to coastal communities. And the Reimagining the Chemical Heartland initiative, based in the Department of Chemistry, encompasses a range of projects exploring possibilities for a post-carbon future on the Gulf Coast and in the Permian Basin. And the Department of Atmospheric Sciences is the home of the Texas State climatologist. And when I'm having a bad day, I always think, well, at least I'm not the Texas State climatologist. So through the Aggie Teach program, College of Arts and Sciences, in partnership with the School of Education and Human Development, is already the largest provider in Texas of secondary school teachers in mathematics and science subjects. So we're currently planning to grow Aggie Teach across the full range of departments and subjects in arts and sciences. What greater multiplier effect could there be than by educating the educators? And as we think about how to grow the arts and sciences footprint in the public sphere, our long-standing but newly revitalized journalism program will play a key role. We have two degree programs, a BA and a BS, working currently with the Higher Education Coordinating Board. And journalism views itself as an extension and a part of our outreach mission. At the state level, it will address news deserts in Texas with particular attention to communities relevant to our designation as a Hispanic serving institution. While at a national level, the Texas A&M facility in Washington, D.C. will provide a platform for engagement with national media organizations. And this is a timely moment to consider arts and sciences' impact on the national stage. Each year, the US president, publishes the economic report of the president to discuss the most pressing economic and social challenges facing the country. And the most recent report issued earlier this month featured the research of 5 faculty members from our Department of Economics. And this is not an isolated instance. We have members of geography and atmospheric sciences testifying to Congress and contributing to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So let me talk now about translational research. Translational research is the translation of basic research into results that directly benefit the population at large. Arts and sciences has many achievements in this area and ambitious plans for still more. But before going into them, I want to emphasize that translational research stands on the foundation of basic research. As a wise cosmologist once remarked, if we only did applied research, we would still be working on refinements to the spear. So we must continue to support and celebrate our pure mathematicians, philologists, theoretical physicists, literary scholars, metaphysicians, and all of those whose work is more theoretical and abstract. Not just because this work might one day have practical applications, but because knowledge and understanding are intrinsic goods. And it is our job as a College of Arts and Sciences to promote the disinterested search for truth as a fundamental academic value. And as far as the disinterested search for truth is concerned, we're actually doing pretty well. The College of Arts and Sciences houses more than half of the distinguished professors at Texas A&M. We have on our faculty recipients of the Nobel Prize, the Guggenheim Fellows, members of the National Academy of Science and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, as well as a host of distinctions in national and international professional societies. A great example of how basic research, applied research, and translational research are all intertwined is the Cyclotron Institute, which is the home of 2 Department of Energy centers of excellence and most recently a DOE topical theory collaboration. It provides the infrastructure for our highly ranked graduate programs in nuclear physics and nuclear chemistry, offers testing facilities for industry and defense partners, and also produces isotope astatine-211 as part of a cancer treatment collaboration with MD Anderson. And we have many other types of translational research taking place all over the college. Our faculty in psychological and brain sciences do science that changes people's lives, on how to reduce traumatic memories, on treating anxiety and depression. Applied ethicists in philosophy make interventions in areas from veterinary care to the ethics of technology and artificial intelligence. Our biologists are developing novel approaches to studying spinal cord repair and using diverse animal models to study circadian dysregulation and insomnia, and developing novel antifungals and antibiotics. Our historians take historical research into the broader community through digital history and public history. And we have multiple initiatives going on in green chemistry, including a National Science Foundation-funded Center for Chemical Innovation, focusing on solvent-free alternatives to chemical synthesis using mechanochemistry. And our researchers in communication enhance health outcomes by improving patient-provider interaction. And we have 2 major initiatives in arts and sciences that will help to build capacity and increase our translational impact. The Environment and Sustainability Initiative has huge potential for setting the agenda in Texas and beyond in dealing with the challenges posed by a changing climate. And in the medical arena, the new Texas A&M Drug Discovery Center will be led from within arts and sciences to serve the whole campus and the Health Science Center. This $4 million investment will bridge the gap between basic chemical and biological research, opening up opportunities for collaboration with medical researchers. So the scope and the depth of what we already have in arts and sciences is quite extraordinary. But to move ahead, we need to invest in our people. in the faculty, the staff, and the students who have brought us to where we are today. Many of you are rightly concerned about salaries that have not kept pace with inflation. And I've had many discussions on the topic with the Arts and Sciences Caucus of the Faculty Senate. So some significant steps have already been taken in addressing these problems. So the first move was to set a floor for graduate student salaries of $20,000 for 9 months. That's not enough. And I'm happy that we have several departments that are able to pay more. But it's significantly better than it was this time last year. Graduate students are nominally half-time 9-month employees. Taking this into account, the 12-month full-time equivalent for a graduate student salary is around $54,000. Accordingly, this has been set as the floor for postdoctoral research fellow salaries. It does not seem appropriate to pay those who have the PhD degree and are working for us less than the minimum salary of those who are still studying for it. I'm happy to report that the Division of Research has followed our lead and changed the university minimum salary for postdocs to $50,000 from $36,000. And the Division of Research will fund any salary increases required to increase the salaries of postdocs currently on the payroll to $50,000. The College of Arts and Sciences will cover the balance to bring salaries to the $54,000 minimum. Another area of long-standing concern is salaries for our academic professional track faculty. In the FY23 budget, which is the first budget for the Unified College of Arts and Sciences, I found 81 faculty members with a 9-month salary below $55,000, including 60 below $50,000. This includes some of our most accomplished teachers with years and sometimes decades of experience. It is unacceptable. And the faculty affairs and business teams in arts and sciences have put a lot of hours in on a plan to set things right, to start setting things right. Fortunately, President Banks intervened and decided to set and to fund a university-wide minimum salary of $55,000 for all APT faculty. This was an inspired action that laid down a clear marker for the whole university. And by funding significant salary increases that we would otherwise have had to cover in arts and sciences, Dr. Banks made it possible for us to move more aggressively in right-sizing salaries than would otherwise have been possible. So we've set aside $1.5 million in base funds to address equity and compression issues for both tenure stream and APT faculty. This is around 1.5% of our annual faculty salary budget, and will of course be in addition to any merit pool approved by the Board of Regents. We're also looking closely at staff salaries and have already taken a number of actions to correct the most egregious problems, with others planned. I anticipate that a total of $250,000 will be allocated to staff equity and reclassifications, which also corresponds to 1.5% of the total salary budget for our staff. And I'm happy to report that the faculty affairs team in arts and sciences has been working hard on a number of other initiatives to enhance the working environment, including guidelines on acute family care and our arts and sciences awards program, which will give out 62 awards to faculty, staff, and students. I hope you'll be able to join us on May the 2nd at 4 p.m. in the Zone Club at Kyle Field to recognize the awardees. But we also need to bring new colleagues into arts and sciences. This year, 18 recruitments were authorized in the transformational hiring program, an investment in salary and startup of around 20 million over the next 5 years. More than half of the potential transformational hires have already come to campus. I've enjoyed visiting with some truly outstanding potential colleagues, and I'm happy that several have already agreed to join Texas A&M, thanks to outstanding work from our department heads and faculty. As you know, this has been a transitional year. We've been working through some budget issues, trying to understand the commitments and the obligations that we've inherited from 3 very different budget models. It hasn't always been pretty, and we're not yet done with the forensic accounting. But I feel confident that we can now make some aggressive moves in faculty hiring. And a very important factor here has been some changes in how Texas A&M treats differential tuition. This is something I've been discussing with Dr. Banks for a long time. And I'm happy to say that, as many of you know, the College of Arts and Sciences will now be given a non-trivial portion of the differential tuition received by other colleges to reflect the amount of teaching that we do for them, the amount of teaching that we do for engineering majors, for ag majors, for our business majors. And this places some of our existing funding programs on a firmer financial footing, such as the important visiting assistant professor in mathematics, which happens to be both our largest generator of semester credit hours and a top research department. And this new funding is also key to our new hiring initiatives, because we're now in a position to take a different approach. It's time for a foundational hiring program to recruit the faculty who will help us to build the new College of Arts and Sciences and lay the foundations for future success. I anticipate that we will have at least 150 searches over the next 2 years, FY24 and FY25, with more than 100 tenured or on the tenure track. Some of those will be department specific, and some will be in clusters to build excellence and capacity across multiple departments. And that brings me back to development and philanthropy and some work for our newly enhanced development team and Office of Alumni Relations. We need tools to recruit new faculty and to fight off attempts from other universities to steal our stars away. And the most powerful tools are endowed positions, chairs, professorships, and faculty fellowships. The value of an endowed position is not transactional. It's not just about the revenue. It's about the prestige that comes with holding a named position at a major research university, one of the highest honors that an academic can receive. So we currently have 868 faculty, or thereabouts, the largest number by quite some way of any college at Texas A&M. Some of us will go elsewhere or retire over the next few years. But with our foundational hires, our transformational hires, with aggressive retention, and with the continued recruitment of master teachers on the academic professional track, I can see us reaching a faculty size of 1,000. Growth, of course, is not an end in itself, but growing our faculty will go hand in hand with academic innovation, with expanding our research footprint, with developing new degree programs, forging new partnerships. By doing all of that, we will create a core of consistent excellence at the heart of Texas A&M University. That will elevate us and elevate the whole university with us. So in conclusion, let me thank you again for all the work you've done. We are a great college and we will have a still greater one. Thanks and gig 'em.